Hello and welcome everyone to PHP Teacher Online. I am Raju Kundu. Let's start JavaScript lesson 2 today. Okay, uh, as I think you can remember, last day on lesson 1, I have taught you all the things and theoretical parts about the events and what is JavaScript is all about till here. Okay, now I am going to start the next part, that is the basics of programming and some operators. Okay, now for the basics of programming, this is not only about JavaScript. What I am trying to teach you here is, like in any programming, you need to know all these things because they are more or less the same. Okay, for all the programming they are the same. So you need to understand all these things to do any kind of programming, no matter you are doing C, you are doing Java, you are doing PHP or any other programming. You have to understand all the aspects that I am going to teach you today. Okay, so prepare for these things and let's start. Okay, for any programming that you want to learn, it has two things generally, that is variable and constant. Now let me try and explain you like how this variable and constant works. Okay, so if you go for a bookish kind of definition, then people might say variable is something which varies. Okay, now I know that might not be totally clear to every one of you, so I'll explain it with some real life example. I think that will be more easier. Suppose you have one container in your house, maybe a biscuit container. Okay, so inside that you are storing biscuit, but if you try to understand deeply, you will surely understand, like in a biscuit container you can also keep water. Okay, or you can also keep a juice, or you can keep any other small solid things over there which will fit into the mouth of that. Okay, so biscuit container is a variable. Why it is a variable? Because it can store something. Okay, it can store something. You are maybe keeping biscuits, you are maybe keeping something else, you are maybe keeping water. So that means variable is basically a container which will store something for you. Okay, which will store something for you. And generally in case of programming, you are not going to keep any biscuits inside that, that is for sure. So instead of that, what you are going to keep inside a variable, generally we will be storing some numbers. Okay, maybe decimal numbers, maybe some text, maybe my name, maybe a single character. Okay, so in variable you can store multiple kind of things. That can be a number, a decimal number, a string means combination of characters. That means my name is Raju Kundu, so there are many characters involved to build Raju Kundu, so this is called as a string. Okay, now if there is only one character, that will be called as a character variable. That means suppose A is there, B is there, Z is there, so that will be a character variable, character type variable rather I should say. Okay, so there are different kind of types available for variables that I'll explain over here also. Like in variables you will find different kind of variable, like int means integer variable. Okay, integer variable, float variable, then there will be double variable, and then there will be character variable, then there will be string variables. Okay, so this kind of variables exist in programming language. Okay, so different kind of variables. So now what an integer can store, an integer variable can store some numbers, maybe 10, maybe 5, maybe 99, maybe this much. Okay, so this should be a whole number. Okay, integer variable can contain a whole number only, like 10, 5, 99, 25, 37, whatever it is. Okay, now what about float variables? Float variables can store a decimal kind of number, like 12.36 or maybe 78.256, this kind of stuff. Okay, now there is double again. Now what a double can store 69 point this. Now you might be assuming the same thing has been done by float also, but the thing is that there is a bit of difference. Like float can store up to 8 bit of decimal points, and double can store 16 bit of decimal points. Okay, so basically it can store more decimal points than float. Okay, but in case of JavaScript, you do not need to worry about these things. These are generally knowledge of C programming language. But JavaScript variables do not generally have a type. So it can store anything. Like you can store characters in it, string in it, or double value, full float value, integer value, whatever you want. Okay, still just an idea. So keep this as an idea of programming language, not for JavaScript, not for C, not for anything. Just I am giving you some ideas, so it is clear to you what you are going to do later on. Okay, now in character, definitely I am going to store some character, maybe A, maybe J, maybe K, maybe O, maybe P, this sort of thing. Okay, okay, this sort of thing. Single character. Okay, it can store single character. In case of string, you can store text, maybe this is a cat. So this total thing can be stored inside a string. Okay, so this will be called as string. So these are some generic variable types. This you can say variable, and this you can say type of variables. Now let me keep it over here like this. Okay, so there are variables, and these are type of variables which will determine what kind of value you are going to store inside your variable, or you can remember it as a container. Variable stands for container, you can say. Okay, so now there is another part that is called as constant. Okay, there is another part called as constant. Now what is constant and what is the difference between a variable and a constant, that we need to understand as well. Okay, so basically constant is also a container which can store something, but the basic difference is in variable. Suppose as I told you earlier, uh, in a container you are storing a biscuits, then later on you are removing biscuits and storing something else. So like a container can store variable container can store multiple kind of things at a time. Okay, or you are storing this right now and you are removing that and you are storing some other thing right other time. Okay, but in constant, whatever you are going to store inside it, it will remain the same all the time. Like in real life, you can say, if I am telling you a container is a variable, then what is a constant? Sun and moon are constant because they never change. Whatever we are seeing every day, sun and moon keep staying the same way. We are saying it is rising from east and going to the west, and it keeps happening the same things again and again. So we can say sun and moon are constant. But variables, like a tree is a variable. It was small some time ago and now it grew big. Okay, a person, he is also a variable because he is growing and then growing older and then going to death. Okay, going to die. So variable is something which can change and might get destroyed by time also. Constant is something which will stay or remain the same all the time. Okay, so this is the basic difference between a variable and a constant. Apart from that, you can say everything is the same. Okay, then now we will move to operators. Okay, let me explain what are operators. So in programming, we may need to do certain operations, like we may need to add something, multiply something. We may need to check whether something is greater than some other thing or something is smaller than the other thing. So these sort of things we need to do inside a programming to complete our task. Okay, so to do that, there are certain operators which helps us to do those particular operations. Okay, now what are the general operators that are available? So basically there are operators available like arithmetic operators, conditional operators, logical operators, binary operators, assignment operators, and concatenation operators. Apart from that, more operators are also there. Some people may already know, like bitwise operators are there, shift operators there, but I'm not explaining them over here because they are not that much of a use to us. Whatever we are going to learn, they will not help us much on that, so that's why I am avoiding those. I am just emphasizing on the main things which will help us. Okay, that's why I have removed them. So now how these operators work, and let's see what are the arithmetic operators. Now you may already know this is a plus or additional operators, and this is subtract. This will help us to do subtraction. This will help us to do multiplication. This will help us to do divide. And what is this? This is not a percentage. This operator is called as modulo divider or mod. Okay, so what it will do, it will help us to find the remainder when we apply this. So suppose we are we want to divide 5 using 2. So in that case, so in here, let me explain with an example. In here, if we do 5 by 2, the result will be 2.5. Okay, but in here, if we do 5 mod 2, then the result will be 1. Why? Because the remainder will be 1. If you try to divide 5 by 2, then the remainder will be 1. So mod will give you the result for the remainder, not for the 2.5 or the main value what you are getting by dividing it. Okay, so this is, now you understand, this is addition, this is subtraction, this is multiplication, and this is division. I have already explained, and this is modulo divider or mod, you can say. Okay, this is, you can say, mod. Okay, now what other operators are there? There are conditional operators. Okay, which will let us to evaluate something with some other value, like greater than is there. Okay, this is greater than, this is less than. Okay, greater than, this will be less than, this will be greater than, equals, and this will be less than equals. Okay, this will be greater than equals, this will be less than equals, or should I say less than or equals, and greater than or equals. That will be more better. And this will be equals, and this will be not equals. Okay, so these are the conditional operators that we use in computer programming. Okay, so that means if we want to check a number, like not a number, like let's say I am giving 6 is greater than 5, so that means the answer will be true, or you can say yes. Okay, the answer will be yes, because 6 is greater than 5, that we know already. Okay, now if we state over here 6 is less than 5, then in this case the answer will be false, or you can say no, because this is a wrong thing, because 6 is not less than 5, 6 is greater than 5. Okay, so that's why. Now if we state 6 is greater than equal to 6, then in this case it will be true. And if we state 6 is less than equal to 6, then this will be true as well, because 6 is not less than, but it is equals to 6. So 6 is equals to 6, that's why it's true, and 6 is equals to 6 in this case also, that's why it is true. But if you go for only greater than, then in that case that will be false, and in this case also that will be false. Okay, so now here, if we state 6 equals to 6, then that means it's true. But if we state 6 equals to 7, then this will be false. Okay, and in this case, in not equals will always give you a result opposite of equals. Okay, that means if I write 6 is not equals 6, that means I am telling a lie. We know that 6 is always equals to 6, but we are stating that 6 is not equals to 6, which is wrong, so that means it will be false. But if we state 6 is not equals to 7, in this case it will be true. So as you can see, if you compare this one and this one, you will clearly understand whatever the result will be for double equals, the opposite result it will be always for not equals. Okay, so this is false, this is true, but this is true, this is false. Okay, so this way it works. Okay, so you need to understand all these operators clearly, because once you start writing programs, you need these operators to complete your program. Okay, every time. That's why you need to understand them clearly. Then there is logical operator. This is and this one is or. So why these are being used? Let me give you a like straightforward example. Suppose I am telling you, to learn from me, you must have an internet connection and you must run YouTube. I am telling you this. Okay, so I am telling two things. You must have internet connection and you must run YouTube. So two things are required to learn from me. Correct? Now, if I would have told you, like, to learn from me, you either have a laptop or you have a mobile phone. So I am giving you a alternate chance, like laptop will do, mobile phone will also do, or you can keep them both also. So that is or. And if I am giving you no other choices, that you must have those two or both of them you need to have, in that case you should be using and if you I am giving you a choice, like you can have this or that, then in that case you should be using or. So similarly, whenever we are programming, we need to understand the current scenario, and according to that scenario we need to apply either or operator. Okay, depending on that scenario. So that's why these are used, and you need to state double and, you need to state double or. These are called as pipe signs or pipe symbols. Okay, this you will find in your keyboard somewhere near the enter key. Okay, now next one is binary operator. Now what is this plus plus and minus minus is all about? Now this plus plus states increment operator, increment operator, and this minus minus states decrement operator, decrement operator. Okay, now what are the difference between increment and decrement operators and how they work? Suppose I have a variable in which I have kept 5, and if I use the plus plus operator with that variable, then the 5 will become 6. So it helps you, basically it will help you to increment a number by 1. And similarly, the other one, this one, it will help you to decrement a number by 1. Okay, so plus plus will always increase your current number by another 1, and minus minus will always decrease your current number by another 1. We'll do some practicals also over all these things so you can understand clearly, but slowly step by step. On every lesson I am going to teach each and everything with practical examples, so it gets clear to you. Okay, now what is assignment operator? This is assignment operator. Okay, so assignment operator helps you to assign something. Like suppose I want to take a variable, maybe the name of the variable is x, and I want to keep 10 inside that variable. So I am assigning 10 inside that x variable. So that means I need assignment operator to do that task. So I need to keep my value inside a variable using assignment operator, which is equals. Okay, double equals mean comparing something with the left hand positions item to the right hand positions item, you are comparing. In that case you need to use double equals, but whenever you are assigning something, you need to use single equals. Do remember these things, because these are common mistakes that people make when they are checking something, instead of giving 2 equals, they give 1 equals and the result becomes wrong. So every time when you are checking something, you need to use 2 equals, and when you are assigning something, you need to use 1 equals only. Okay, keep this in mind. Okay, then there is concatenation operator. Now what is a concatenation operator? Now see, concatenation operators generally help us to merge two things together. Suppose I have a variable or container, whatever you can remember. I have a variable or container in which I have my first name Raju, okay, and I have another variable or a container in which I have my surname or last name, which is Kundu. Now I want to merge them together. I want to merge Raju and Kundu together or concatenate them together. In that case, if I write the first variable name plus the second variable name, it will become Raju Kundu. But again, now there might be a confusion in your head. What? I am telling you that plus is an arithmetic operator and also plus is an concatenation operator. How is that possible? It is possible in case of JavaScript. If whatever you are writing, suppose I have written 10 plus 2. Now this 10 is a number and this 2 is a number 2. In that case, the result will be 12, because both of them are number, correct? But in case of here, if I write Raju plus Kundu, then the result will become Raju Kundu, because both of them are string combination or collection of characters. That's why it will become a concatenation operator. Automatically JavaScript will understand and it will make it concatenation operator, and those will be printed. Now if you have done PHP, in that case dot is a concatenation operator. So in PHP this should have been written in this way, Raju dot Kundu. So concatenation operator is different in PHP, but in JavaScript, what it does, if it sees like this is a string, and there is a plus in between, then it will convert it to total string by concatenating them to Raju Kundu. But if it says here is a number like this one is a number and this one is also a number, then it will add them together, so it will become an arithmetic operator. Okay, but remember, there are more exceptions like this. If there is a number and also a text, then what will happen? Then the result will be 10 Raju, because you cannot add 10 with Raju. That's why it will become a concatenation operator again. Similarly, if it's a situation like this, there is Raju and then 10, then it will become Raju 10. Okay, so like this. So if it finds two text or two strings, then it will concatenate. It will, if it finds one string and one number, then it will concatenate also. But if it finds two are number and in between there is a plus operator, then it will become arithmetic operator and it will add all the things. So this is the way concatenation operator works. Okay, so I have explained you all about the basics of programming things and also operators. Now apart from these things, there are some more aspects available that we have to understand. What are they? There are like different things available. Let me show you. Like there, what you need to know to need to know to learn programming. To learn any programming, what you need to understand are these things: if, else, okay, then loops. Now there are many kind of loops, like I can mention A, for loop, B, while loop, C, do while loop, and also I'm mentioning D, for each loop. Although this is only been used in PHP programming language. Okay, and then apart from this, you need to understand, so if, else, loop, and then switch, and you need to also understand operators, that I have explained already above. Okay, so you need to understand operators, you need to understand variables, and you need to understand constants. All the constants are not that much special thing to that you need to know or you must know. If you know till variables also, it will do. Okay, but these are the aspects. If you want to learn any programming language, you need to understand if else, loops, and switch cases, operators, and these things are must. Now, how if else work? If else works with conditional operators, because we are giving some condition, so if else will work with them. Now, how loops work and what are loops? Loops means something. Suppose the fan is going round and round, so it is a loop. Suppose a cycle tire is going round and round, so it is a loop. Suppose a hammer is hitting a similar place again and again, so it is a loop. So whenever same thing happens again and again and again, that is called as a loop. Okay, so those are loop. And rather, instead of writing loops, I should have written loop over here. Okay, then there are switch case. What are switch cases? Like suppose you have switches in your house, right? If you turn on the fan switch, the fan will start. If you turn on the light switch, the light will start. Similarly, in programming language, you can use switch to do different tasks. Like for this switch, this will happen. For that switch, that will happen. And operators I have already explained, variables I have already explained, and constant I have already explained. So these are the very basic things for any programming that you want to get started with, no matter it's JavaScript, C++, Java, PHP, Python, whatever it is. You need to know all these things clearly to do a particular programming. Now what we'll do, we'll try to learn how to use variable. Okay, how to use those arithmetic operators with the variable and print out something. Okay, so to do so, we will create some small programs, like very basic programs like we did in lesson 1. Very basic programs we are going to create. Maybe there will be a button, on click of that it will add two numbers, or it will concatenate two things, something like that we will be explaining in this particular lesson. After that, more complex things will be coming on the later lessons. Okay, so right now I am going to create a file, and then we will start doing all the programming over there. So let's create a new file over here. Let's save it in the similar place like we did in the desktop. We have saved it. Okay, basic program, first program. Now let's see here. I'm going to name it variables.html. Okay, we are going to show you how to use variables inside this program. Okay, let's save it and let's start. Now let's write HTML like we did last day on lesson 1. So HTML, and then head, and then head close, and then title, head close, and then body close. Okay, now inside title, let's say we are going to explain about variables, and over here I'll keep nothing right now. So I'll open this file out, I'll move it to here, I'll open up my browser, and then make it smaller over here, and let's go to JavaScript course and then variables. Okay, now as you can see, the title is there, but there is nothing in the body because I have not written anything. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, in this case, I'm going to create a button, and I'm going to use that on click event. Remember this on click event I have taught you? Yeah, this one, on click event. So I'm going to use this on click event to show something. Okay, so how can I do that? So let's say I'll create an input type text. Again, whoever knows HTML already, he knows how to create these things, and I'll be creating HTML courses later also for free, so people can learn this one also. Okay, input type text, and I can give it a name. The name will be input type text, and the name will be like suppose btt. So button this will be, and then there will be an id, that will be btt as well, and then there will be a value. Value will be like click me. Okay, in here. Okay, now I'm going to create a script tag. Script tag, and the type will be text/javascript. Then script tag will end. Then there should be a function, as I taught on the first lesson. Okay, function space. This function will print something or show something, so I'll give it a name like show. Okay, so this will be my function name. Currently the function is doing nothing because I have not written anything at all. So first of all, I am going to write on click over here, that is the event. Okay, on click event, and in the on click event I am going to call show function and give it this way. Okay, now after doing this, if I go here and refresh, a button will be the, oh, I think instead of button I have written this one. This should have been a button. Okay, type should have been a button, then it will show as a button. Okay, now when I click on this, nothing is happening because it is going to the function, but the function body does not contain any item at all, so it is not doing anything. So how can I be sure that the function is working? I know we can change the body color and check like we did in the lesson 1, but I'm not going to change the body color now. I'm going to show you one function which is inbuilt in JavaScript. Okay, that function can pop out a small message box to show you a message, and that particular function is called as alert. So this is a inbuilt function or ready-made function of JavaScript, which you can use to pop out a small message box, and you can, inside double quotes, you can write some message like this is a test run. We can write this. Okay, now if we save this program, refresh over here and click over here, see, this is a test run has been printed by that alert. So alert box pops out a message box which contains a message that you are going to write inside this, and that will be showing over here. So whenever you click on this button, it will show you this message all the time. This message is being shown from this alert ready-made or inbuilt function of JavaScript. Okay, so you can use this to pop out a message. Now why I have written double quotes, there is a reason behind that. Whenever you are using a string, remember the term I have used string over here, this one. Okay, so whenever you are using a string or a character, that should be backed up by a double quotes or a single quotes. Okay, you can use a single quotes maybe also, that will also work. If I use a single quote and go here and refresh and click, see, still the message is coming out. So either single quotes or a double quotes you need to use whenever you are using a string. Okay, whenever you're trying to write a string. Okay, but in case of variable it will be something different that I will explain shortly. Okay, now let's say sorry for that. Okay, now let me explain you how to declare a variable, like how to make my program understand that I want to take a variable which I am going to use. To do that, simply you need to write var and then give a space and then your variable name. My variable name may be my var or my data. Suppose my data, this is my variable name. You can use camel case also, you can use underscore also, as I have taught you regarding the function name in lesson 1. So I'll do my data like camel case. Okay, like so, then I'll put an equal sign over here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put something inside this variable, maybe 56. Okay, so I have put 56 inside this variable my data. Now what is this? This is an assignment operator. Remember I taught you over here, this one. So whenever you are trying to assign a value to the variable, you should be using assignment operator, that is equals. Over here I have used that. So now my data stands for 56 because I have assigned 56 inside my data. Now how can I know that? So inside the alert box I can write my data. Now this will not print 56. Let me check. it will show you my data. Why? Because you have quoted this out. So whenever you are quoting out a particular thing, it will think that this is a string, this is not your variable. If you want to print the value of the data, that is 56, in that case, as this is a variable, you should not be mentioning any double quotes at all. If you write it this way, like only my data without any double quotes, only then it will pop out with a value of 56. Let's see, refresh and check. See, now it is showing 56 over here. Why? Because I have removed the double quotes. But if my data variable has not existed, in that case this is illegal, because there is no such variable called as my data. Then how come you are using this? Okay, this will be wrong. See, if I refresh this and try to print it, nothing is happening, because this is an error. There is no such variable as my data and you are trying to print it, so you cannot do that. So if this exists, then you can do this way. You should not mention any double quotes, because you are trying to print the value of the variable, not the variable itself. Okay, now 56 is coming out. So alert is an inbuilt or ready-made function which you can use to print something inside a pop-up. Although this is like very basic thing, this should not be used in real cases, but as I am teaching you, so while teaching I am trying to do it this way, so you can understand how JavaScript is working out. Okay, so okay, now we'll do some like increment stuff, or adding two values. We'll do something like that in this lesson. Okay, just a minute, let me do that part of the coding. So now let's do it. So that is over here. Let me write my data plus plus, and this data's D should be in capital. My data plus plus. What this means is, I told the computer or the program like my data contains 56, that is fine, but I have used the plus plus increment operator. Remember, I taught you over here, the plus plus is an increment operator which can help you to increase some value with 1. Okay, so what I did, I told like whatever value you have in my data, increment it by 1. Plus plus means ones, but that does not mean that you can mention 4 plus plus and it will increment by 2. That does not happen. Okay, so it should be always like this, plus plus. So once I mention plus plus over here, what it will do, it will increment 56 to 57, and my data will now be printing inside the alert box as 57. Let's see, let's save this program and let's go here, refresh it and click it over here. See, now it is being printed as 57. What will happen if I write this statement again, my data plus plus again? Now try to assume what should I be happening. My data will print now the value of 58, because I have incremented my data twice. Okay, now what will happen if I decrement it again? My data minus minus. So in this case, from 56, see, program falls in waterfall model. Okay, so program will always come from here to here. So first it has find 56, then it has made it 57, then it has become 58, then again it has become 57, because I have mentioned minus minus, then the ultimate outcome. So the ultimate outcome will be 57. See, so this way increment and decrement operator works. Okay, this is the way how increment and decrement operator works. So now suppose I'll teach you another thing. Suppose I do not want this bit of program to work. It will be there, but I do not want these three to work. So you can do two things. Either you can do it this way, this way, this way. If you mention double slash this way, that line gets commented. Commented means it will be there, but it will not work. The program will skip that part. Okay, so I have commented all three lines, so that means the outcome will be now 56. Why? Because these three lines are not working. So eventually you have my data with 56 value, and that is being printed. Okay, you can do it in other way also. You can mention a slash star over here and a star slash over here. This is called as multi-line comment. That was single line comment, this is multi-line comment. You can comment them together using slash star and star slash. Now the result will be same again, 56. Okay, see, so this is the way how increment and decrement operator works. Apart from the increment and decrement operator, I will take another variable and I will show how to add two variables, like var another data. I am mentioning this name as another data, PHER, another data. Okay, now over here, I am mentioning 5. So now what I want to do, I want to add my data with another data and show the result. Okay, now to store the result I need another variable like this, where result. This one is currently 0. Result does not have any value inside it. Now how to add them together? You can write result equals my data plus another data. If I write it this way, then what will happen? It will add, or the arithmetic operator addition will work over here. Addition will work over here. So it will add 56 with 5 and the result will be getting stored over here. So 56 and 5 and the result got stored here. So instead of writing my data inside the alert, now I am going to write result. So what will be the result? Let's see. The result is 61 because 56 and 5, the total is 61. So it is storing my data and another data together by doing the arithmetic operator addition and storing the thing inside here, because I have used assignment operator over here. Now the result has become 61. So this is the way how you can take different variables and store them and then do the additions. Another thing is that I have written var 3 times in 3 lines. So this is not only the way to do this. I'll teach you another way. That is, you can also mention var, then you can write my data 56 in 1 line, then give a comma, then another data 5 in the same line, and then give another comma, and then result equals 0 in the same line and the semicolon at the end. So this way also it will work, and it will work similarly. See, 61, again the result is 61, no changes, because it is assuming like you are assigning 56 over here, then 5 over here, then result over here, and that is your outcome. Now if you do a subtraction, just mention a minus symbol over here and the subtraction result will come out. See, 51 now. Okay, so it has got subtracted because I have used the subtraction symbol. Similarly, you can do multiplication, you can do division, you can do modulo division also. So this is the way how you should do your programming stuff. I hope this is clear till now, because there are much more things to be learned from here. Many more combinations are there for variables. I need to show you how concatenation works, how other operators work, how if else work, how for loop work, or do loop, while loop work. Everything I will teach you, but that will be on the later lesson. For today's lesson 2, this is it, and you need to understand all these things clearly before moving into the next lesson. Hope you like this video. Please do subscribe and like and comment so I can understand whether you are liking this video or not, or whether I need to change the teaching mechanism. Then I'll do it that way, or I'll try to make it more better. But please do subscribe so I get the support to create more free videos for you that will be helpful for you. Okay, till then, bye.